Hey, what's up, Fantasy Foosballers? This is Tyler, the Waiver King Ward, coming at you live from my garage. And today's episode is simultaneously both the most important episode that we've ever released in the history of this channel and the least important episode that we've ever released on this channel. So, at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you my fantasy football MVP for this season. And that's very important because it's a late round pick that could win you your league. So pay attention to that. And then the least important stuff is I've got one more tier list, and it's tight ends. And I hate doing that. So I'm going to bring you that because if you know anything about tight ends, it's like, man, you get one of the top 3 or 4, maybe 5, or you just don't get one at all. You just wait till the very end. So my strategy this year, I think, is going to be grabbing 1 or 2 early that I kind of like. There's only 2 of them. I'll talk to you about those. But if not, I'm going to wait till the very end and probably get like Evan Ingram or something, like undrafted. I don't even care. And use all my picks I did all this research for, like a AJ Dillon or a Gabriel Davis or, somebody later on that could turn into something that I think is being undervalued. And I'm going to package that into a trade for a top tier tight end. Because I like top tier tight ends, but I don't like paying for them because it sucks, man. Like, you've got one tight end position spot, right? And so if you invest a second or a third round pick into that, and you're not going to draft another tight end in your league. You're just going to rely on that one guy to not get injured. It's putting all your eggs into one basket, and they're going to get broke. So anyways, because, it's football, man. So just like I say this because I'm a Darren Waller owner, so I'm probably a little biased against tight ends. But I've also won some championships on Tony Gonzalez and, I forget his name. Tyler something, this backup quarterback for the Chiefs, man. Hyper target. That was a long time ago. Anyways, let's get through this. S tier. Tight ends. Kelsey. And this is all in rank. This is my order of rank, too. So Kelsey, Andrews, and Kyle Pitts. I love Kyle Pitts. Kelsey and Andrews are going a little bit too high for me. The running backs that you have to choose. And Kyle Pitts is coming down to, in my drafts, the 2 players I like where he's going is Mike Williams or Kyle Pitts. I've been going Mike Williams all day long. I'll worry about tight end later. But Kyle Pitts is going to be the best tight end in this league. And it's not a matter of, when or if, it's when. So if you want to get on the Kyle Pitts train, I don't blame you at all. Because I think Marcus Mariota is going to throw the ball a lot to him this year, and nobody can really guard him. So he technically, there was a stat, he was technically the number 1 outside receiver last year and as a rookie tight end. It's just crazy. So that's my S tier. Top of my, and S tier is, consistency. They're going to get you very consistent, 10 points a game, and they're going to have their huge, crazy outburst games that will win you a week, which I got reminded of right now as I look at my number 4 tight end, top of A tier, George Kittle. He could get 30 points, win you that week. Next week, get you 5 points. So there's peaks and valleys with George Kittle. It's not as consistent, but he can just blow the doors off, of your week and win you it. So get you 30 points with a tight end. That's amazing. Darren Waller's right under him. And, that's just my own personal experience. I'm not in on Waller where he's going this year. He's been injured most of camp, injured last year. He's getting older. But he used to be one of the consistent with the high output people, So that's still in people's minds. But unless you've been scorned by him, you kind of forget about it. So Darren Waller's there. And then right below him to round off my A tier is Dalton Schultz. I love Dalton Schultz. But where he's going, I just kind of like. There's some running back. I think there's a couple running backs I like around him. And there's a lot of wide receivers I like around him. So Dak doesn't like to hyper target anybody, but that's going to be, maybe a number 1 scoring offense, and he's going to be right behind CeeDee Lamb and, targets probably. So Dalton Schultz, that's end of the tier for me. And then on top of B tier is TJ Hawkinson. You know, he's supposed to be the next Gronkowski. He's been drafted high, drafted high, drafted high. I think this is the lowest he's gone in a long time. So, well, he's only been here for like 3 years, so a lot lower than last year. So he probably is getting drafted where he should be, you know, as far as where he's going to fall in at ADP at the end of the year. But there's a chance the difference between him and the number 11 or 12 tight end is going to be, you know, 1 point a game or some crap like that. So I'm not in on Hawkinson where he is. Right below him, Dallas Goedert. If he falls to me a little bit, I'm picking up Dallas Goedert because, you know, he's being drafted like maybe his floor right now, kind of, and he has got a ceiling unlike Hawkinson because, you know, Amon St. Brown is the hyper-targeted person in that offense, the Lions offense. Goddard could get hyper-targeted in the middle of the field, you know, the short passes for Jalen Hurts this year. So he's got potential. To round out the B tier is Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox, man, they could set passing records this year. And I feared Dawson Knox going against. I remember fearing Dawson Knox last year when I went against him. I mean, there was only like 3 weeks where he was really killing it. But he's going to be part of a great offense, you know? I mean, the difference between him and, I mean, he's going to be a top 10 tight end. He's getting drafted as such, but he's got potential to be a top 5 tight end. So that's why I like him. Okay, so that's the end of the B tier. So top of the C tier, Zach Ertz. He's just going to get a lot of targets in a good offense. His ceiling is going to suck, but he's going to be real consistent for you. I had him last year after Waller went down, and, you know, he gets me 7 points a game or whatever. It's better than 2. And then below him is going to be the opposite, you know. It's going to be Cole Kmet, who gets a lot of targets. But he's got a ceiling. He's going to be number 2 on that offense, you know. I mean, it's going to be a crappy offense. But still, they're going to be playing from behind a ton. And he's got the athletic profile to be a top tight end. And he's going late. That's everybody's favorite top, late tight end this year is Cole Kmet, just because of the hyper targets and the athleticism. So, and then so that's 2 people in the C tier for me. That's why I don't like doing tight end tiers, man. There's not a lot of difference between that and the top dudes. But D, it's going to be Freiermuth, Mike Gesicki, the Denver tight end, Okwawai, something. I suck. And then David Njoku, he just got his money, and Brissett's not going to pass it down the field a bunch. So I think David Njoku's going to get, you know, a decent amount of targets. He'll probably get, I mean, he's not going to get you zeros. All right? He's going to get like you 5 points a game. And I don't want any of that. So that's why I'm going to get Evan Ingram after I choose a kicker or something, man. And then I'm going to hope for the best. And then I'm going to package up and trade for a top-tier tight end because that's the way smarter thing to do, because you can assess your team, know what you have, know who's disposable, and target who you want. So I'm all about saving it and targeting in a trade later for tight ends. All right, that's the whole tight end tier list. Now we go on to the most important thing in Tyler fantasy football world right now, which is the MVP. And, you know, I was going to go, I mean, I'm going to draft Javonte Williams in the second round this year because I believe in him. I think he is the MVP. But I was watching Fantasy Footballers today, and Jason Moore picked him. I was doing all my research, and then all of a sudden I just had to cross his name out. Damn it. So anyways, I've got 2 other really good candidates I was looking at. And I was looking at A.J. Dillon, who is massively undervalued this year. Get him late, and he has got potential to be a top 5 running back, that's what you're looking for in a fantasy football MVP, where you're drafting him and where you could end up. So, but I threw him out because I like James Cook. If you know anything about this channel, we're James Cook people. So, whatever. I don't know him that well at all, really. But anyways, he's 22 years old, right? The Buffalo was top 6 in average yards per rushing attempt last year. They were 13 in rushing attempts last year, and they had 20 rushing touchdowns last year. So even though you don't hear about Devin Singletary being a top option for anything, they actually run the ball and they do it well. So we all know that they're going to pass the hell out of it, but they're going to be in a bad division and they're going to be running a lot at the end of games. So I was checking out, and you know, James Cook is going to be their third down back. So he's going to be involved from the beginning. It's not like you have to wait for injury or something stupid to happen. James Cook is going to be there on the field, third downs. He's explosive in preseason. You saw it if you paid attention. There's going to be some big plays for him, big screens, and then it's just a matter of, dude, he averaged 6.5 yards per carry at Georgia. And if you know anything about this year, you want everybody from Georgia. And he caught, I've said this stat before, but it's crazy. He had 9.4 yards per target while not dropping one of his 78 career targets at Georgia. So he doesn't drop the ball. So Josh Allen is probably going to notice this throughout camp because his other running backs just do this and drop the ball. And, you know, they brought in all these, J.D. McKissick and some other people. They've been looking for a third down receiving back for a long time. And James Cook also can run the ball extremely well. So they're going to be looking at this like, hey, we can just leave this guy on the field. So he's going, super, super late. I mean, I think it's like 10 or 11, something like that in my 10-man league. And he has potential to be, I think he's going to be a top 20 running back regardless at the end of the year. And he is not being valued as such. So James Cook, fantasy MVP. So anyways, if you guys like this video, you can do that in real life and click the like button and subscribe button. And makes me feel really good about myself. I didn't think it would, but we got like 3 more subscribers yesterday. My heart was all beating out of my chest. I was like, oh my God. I think all these people are related to me, but maybe not. And if you don't like this video, you can do that in real life too and leave a hurtful comment. Tell me that James Cook is gonna like be god-awful and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, because there's a good chance of that. But I've got belief in myself, just like you should have belief in yourself. So anyways, this is the Fantasy Foosballers. And I think Jason's gonna be coming out with a, top panic players video soon. So players that when you're late in your draft and you just panic because somebody just went ahead of you. These players should be available. They're gems, late round gems, but I like to think of them as panic players because that's when you look for those people, or when you're panicked. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will be seeing you probably after my draft to share my horde. And usually that's what happens when everybody gets injured. And then I go to the waiver wire because I'm the waiver king. So Fantasy Foosballers out!